was an excellent win midweek, but the thing is now you've got to do it again, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got another sort of important game, big game coming up. So I think, as we spoke about the other day, I think when you're at this stage of the season, the games get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that the win and the manner of the win the other day, I think certainly gives the players optimism, gives us optimism, hopefully gives the fans optimism. I think getting Ben into the team, I think as well, gave everybody a bit of a lift, although it was a bit of a risk in the fact that he's not played a lot of football and the importance of the match. But I thought it was a risk worth taking. I think it worked out well, and I'm hoping, obviously, between now and the end of the season, we can put some sort of consistency together.
When you talk about Ben, he had a very good 70 minutes, and he seems to have that winning mentality. Does that also give the players a lift?
Yeah, I think that it's like anything else. You get catalysts within your team, don't you? I mean, you get catalysts for guys that have came for being successful, and what they do is they naturally rub off on others. And I think that when you're a good player and you look around and you see other good players coming in, whether it be a challenge for your position, you know you need to raise your level, or whether it be to help the team, you look and you think, yeah, we've got even more sort of quality in the squad now. So I think all in all, it's just a good. It makes it for a better environment. It makes more competitive environment. It means that we're going at each game sort of more confident in the fact that we can go and try and win them.
Back to Blackpool, they've not won since I think October the 29th, apart from in the Cup. But they're obviously on a pretty poor run. They brought in Mick McCarthy. Do you see that he will have made much difference in the way they play?
Yeah, there's a considerable difference in terms of how they play. They take less risks in terms of playing out for the back and different things like that. But I think sometimes though, people will jump on that and think, oh, it's just route one football. I think when you're down that bottom end, a lot of the times, we spoke about it before, it's eliminating risk. You know, because I think statistically, if you look at teams that build for the back, and I'm pretty sure when Tony Pulis was here, this conversation might have happened quite a few times, but eliminating risk isn't necessarily a bad thing, particularly for the fact that you're not conceding goals because you won't risk the ball in silly areas of the pitch. So I think he's certainly taking that first element away. I think they're really aggressive in terms of trying to get the ball back. They make it a man-for-man game, really, if they can. And yeah, they get bodies forward. I mean, it's a real sort of simplistic way of playing the game, but it's really effective if you can do it well.
You've had to change the formation due to injuries in the past. You played with a back four the other night. I know you say the formations can be fluid, but how do you look at games? Do you look at them on an individual basis with your formations, or do you look at the individual games plus who you've got available?
Well, it's got to be both, isn't it? You know, I think the fact that we haven't got Josh Tymon at the moment, who's been a left wing back for us, puts us at a disadvantage on that side, albeit I think that Dijon Stirling against Hull did that job really well. I think that he's more than capable of doing it. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I've made no secret of the fact that I think if you look at my record over my career, predominantly a 4-3-3s or a 4-2-3-1, whatever sort of way you want to sort of dress it up, it's the system that I've used much more often. It's the system that I like because I think it's fluent. I think that your front three can rotate and find yourself in different areas of the pitch if it's functioning at the way you want it to do, and it can do. I think your middle three can rotate around, your fullbacks can be really aggressive if you want them to be. I just think there's much more is much more dynamic as a sort of system, and it's a system that I would prefer. But I think that it's important that you try and play to the system that suits your players. You know, so I think that's pretty much the route we've been going down.
Now you've got Ben Pearson in the team, you've also got a situation where Lewis Baker has been on the bench a couple of matches. He's a creative element in the team. It's going to be difficult, isn't it, now for you to mix and match?
Sorry, who's a creative element?
I thought Lewis Baker was quite creative when he first came to the club. You've had to play him deeper.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't know who you were referring to. Yeah, I think Lewis at the moment, if Lewis is probably coming into the team, it would probably be in one of the higher positions in the middle of the park rather than one of the deeper ones. You know, I think we've got good options with Josh Laurent, Jordan Thompson and Ben Pearson. I think they cover off the two deep line positions. I think Lewis can do it, as he has done. But yeah, I think the closer we get Lewis to the goal, the better. And the fact that I think that his goal record, his assist record is particularly high, and he's a threat. You know, I don't think there's any doubts about that. But I think Will Smallbone, certainly in recent weeks, has put in some really strong performances for us. I thought we missed him when I dropped him out of the team against Luton. I thought we missed his legs, his sort of understanding of pressing the ball and breaking beyond the midfield. I thought we missed that. I thought that was that's something we lacked in that game.
Trying not to put you on the spot here now, but of all the tactical philosophies that you've used since you've come here, what's impressed you the most about the tactics that you've tried to get in? What are you most pleased about?
Probably the players, in terms of how quickly they can adapt, how much they can take on board and how they can carry it out. I think that tactically, I think the squad's very good. You know, I think when we talk about how we want to play, how we want to press, and I know it might not seem a lot, but there's a hell of a lot of work goes in behind the scenes in terms of understanding. For instance, like the way we played against Hull. I mean, there's very, very few teams have done that against Hull and can do that really against Hull. Our lads managed to sort of do that within the game quite comfortably, and there was a lot of dynamics that changed in the game, because what happens is when they're trying to utilise what their spare player is, they then make a different player a spare player, and then they try and they come from all different areas. So, but I thought the lads carried it out great. Even at the start of the game the other night, you know, with Huddersfield, they obviously high started high against Ben Pearson, but then dropped himself out. They then rolled Knockcarton off the line, and for 5 minutes it caused us an issue. We just made a slight tweak at the side of the pitch, and the lads just carried it out, and it caused us no issues after that.
And data's used a huge amount in football now. I'm not sure how much data you use when and where, but when you've got a 3-game week, how important is data for you?
When you mean data, what do you mean by that?
Stats of players, how they perform.
What, for our own or for the opposition?
For both.
Yeah, we look into everything. So we'll debrief every game. So we'll go into every game in terms of how we performed. We'll then compare it to our season average in terms of have we performed beyond what we've done over an average in the season, have we underperformed, where's the areas we can improve on, where's the areas we've done significantly well, and then we'll break the game down, and if we've got enough time and if it's significant enough, we'll then show that to some maybe specific players as to why they performed well and what we try and do going forward. But equally we'll do the same for the opposition in terms of what they're good at, what they're not so good at. We give the lads a sort of stats page at the start of the analysis to basically show where this team is and what type of team they are, and it reflects in the stats all the time. So if they're a passing team, you'll see they're really high for certain things. If they're a pressing team, they'll be really high for certain things. It's quite clear what type of team you're playing against when you look at stats. It's factual. It's not an opinion.
And when you're talking about players and how you set up for a 3-game week, Phil Jagielka's a fantastic pro. He scored a good goal midweek. You know, he's played numerous games. And how important is it for a player like Phil, who keeps himself as fit as he can? Can he sustain a 3-game week? Because age catches up with you however fit you are.
We basically work on how Phil feels. I mean, he's an experienced player. He's desperate to play every game, but he wouldn't ever jeopardise the team by putting himself forward if he doesn't feel he's ready. So in that sense, just basically have a conversation with him, ask him how he's feeling. Does he think he can go again? There might be certain games that I think that probably doesn't suit him in terms of how we might need to play, but they're very few and far between, as you could probably tell. And then we do what we think is best for the team. So I'll go back today and speak to him, see how he is, make sure we limit what he does today to make sure that he's fresh as he can be for tomorrow.
He's a great example though, isn't he, of how a professional footballer can maintain their career.
Yeah, it's incredible the fact that he's still going at the age he's going at, and not only that though, but making a difference at this level. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that can't really speak highly enough of what he contributes on and off the pitch. And
on the injury front, you said Celina had got tonsillitis. Has he recovered yet? Or?
Yeah, it'll probably be a late shout on Bersant. So yeah, we'll see how he goes today.
And Cian Hoover?
Cian should be fine. Just, I think he's a young lad. He's not played a lot of minutes. He churned out a 90-minute the other day, and he just felt his hamstring was a little bit tight. So he'll be fine. And
Ben Pearson had no reaction, having played for as long as he did, or Axel Twansaway?
No, Ben will be fine. Axel again, he should be okay.
And the other three, Tymon, Taylor and Powell, any update?
Taylor trained yesterday. Taylor will be in the squad. Powell obviously he's injured at the moment, and Josh Tymon's making really good progress, so we're hoping he won't be too far away. He won't be ready for this one, but he won't be too far away.
Massive following again. You must be really proud of the support you get away from home as well as home.
Yeah, I think that we've spoken about this before. You know, we want to make sure that the fans are proud of their team. You know, we've still got a bit to go to get to that stage, but I think that's really important. That's what we're searching for. That's the aim, and also like their following helps the players. You know, the fans were excellent the other night. They've been great against Reading as well. They were great. I think the game we spoke about, I think it was the Reading game, we spoke about the importance of the fans, that the fact that we weren't on a good run, we needed their backing, and they gave us all the support, and it really does make a difference to us. You know, and I think well, I'm hoping that they can see that we're doing everything we possibly can to try and install that winning mentality and that pride that you would expect and we would want for coming from a working class area. So that's something we're striving to do.
And you've had 3 home league games with a clean sheet. If you can get a point or more tomorrow, it gives you a massive amount of breathing space, and then you can start looking up the table again. Yeah,
and that's exactly where we want to get to. You know, I think what we have done is we've closed that gap for some of the teams above us now. I think if we win the game tomorrow, we can climb above, I think, maybe 3 teams. So I think that's, it's all positive. So we want to go and try and attack the game tomorrow, see if we can get up the table.
Thank you, good luck.